Hey, Wursta group, what's up? It's your boy ET. First and foremost, man, I regret that I can't be there. Y'all know me, man. My schedule is crazy, but this crypto space, this Web3 space, I'm super excited about it. Y'all know I'm all about, being a blessing, to the underserved. You know what I'm saying? So super excited. I plan on being there at the next event y'all have. But my son and Kuntal is there, so they're gonna do a phenomenal job. But yeah, man, thank y'all so much for the opportunity, for the platform, and for doing what you guys are doing to educate, the world on this space, man. Truly, it's gonna make a difference in folks' lives, and it's gonna help your boy in the quest to the Nobel Prize. So appreciate y'all. Let's go.
So that was.
All right. Well, there's there's a message from E. I'm not quite as inspirational a speaker. Jalen's close, but we're here to talk about the project that we've been working on for about what is it, like 6-7 months?
Yes, 6-7.
Now it's called the ETVerse, and our hashtag is Inspire the Block, and our mission is really to bring down the digital divide and make sure that Web3 technology is accessible to all, and that we don't look back in 5 years and people are saying like, oh, Web3, that was only for crypto bros in Silicon Valley, and it left all these other people behind. We want to make sure that everyone's able to take advantage of this opportunity and really empower creators. And when we say creators, we mean creators of all sorts. So it could be artists, could be musicians, entrepreneurs, humanitarians. We really want to create a community and a platform that's going to allow all these folks to come together, have access to the tools to educate themselves about Web3, crypto, NFTs, whatever else, new acronyms out in 2 years. But we all know like this is the future, and we want to make sure that everyone has an opportunity to take advantage of that. And that's what we're all about at the ETVerse. We'll be starting off, our collection with the Genesis collection that's going to be dropping in a month or so. And we worked with these, 10 amazing artists, to have them work with us. We have 4 one-of-ones that are part of the collection. We're going to be auctioning those off. We're packing a lot of utility with the NFTs because I think that's something that's the future of NFTs. So, the one-of-ones, you're going to get, unparalleled access to Eric Thomas, and really all the money is going to go either to the School Days Foundation charity or to the artists directly. And we're really going to use that money to help educate folks on financial literacy and Web3 education. So Jalen's been working very closely with these artists. For a lot of them, I think a majority of them, this is really their first NFT. We do have a couple NFT veterans, Daima, which Iris Nevins, that's her kind of creative shop. She's been, very OG in the space. Brandon Bro, he's done one NFT, which is up on the monitors, but a lot of these folks haven't done NFTs before. This is really their first entree into the space, and we really want to open the door for a lot more people, to leverage this technology to, monetize their gifts. So, the first phase, for the first drop, we're calling it the Creators Collective. So we're going to have an edition of 300 NFTs. And, the Creators Collective is really going to be kind of the core group for the ETVerse. We've put together a roster of, entrepreneurs, Web3 experts, motivational speakers, athletes, and, you'll get membership to this Creators Collective by minting one of these original NFTs. And that's really going to be kind of supercharged community where, that's going to really help propel the ETVerse forward, and will be kind of the core group that really helps execute our roadmap. And I'll let Jalin talk a little about the School Days Foundation, but as you mentioned, the money that we're raising from the NFTs is all going directly to the artists or to the School Days Foundation. And School Days Foundation has done a ton of great work, which Jalen's been deeply involved with, so I want to let him talk a little bit about that.
For sure. Again, I'm Jalin Thomas. Nice to meet everybody. School Days has been going on since I could remember. My dad has always been about giving back in the youth. He has his PhD in education, so that's something that he really, really, that's his like MO. Like I can really tell you guys that. And so, for instance, last year we did a cool thing. Well, I would say February. We went to the Super Bowl. So what we did was we gave 5 schools an opportunity. We gave them a roadmap, letting them know like if you guys do A, Y, and Z, you will be able to go on the trip to the Super Bowl. So mind you, these kids are from Michigan. So palm trees and warm weather is just very rare. So a lot is attached to just the Super Bowl, so they got a chance to travel, some for the first time, a lot of kids, first time being in the bed alone. And so I didn't even think about those factors, but it just gave me a more drive to really like push this in a really dope way. So the Super Bowl was this year. I'm sure next year is going to be something very exciting as well, but I definitely can't even express the looks on the kid's face when they like walk through the doors and they like actually got the physical ticket, because it kind of was a thing where it was like, okay, Super Bowl, but like when they got the ticket in hand, it was just like a glow that I could not express, but I'm willing to work hard again so like I can give that to another kid in terms of that experience. So that is school days, and within there we try to just give them resources and tools that they need as it relates to test enhancement, little things that we've fallen off of because of like detail orientedness. We just try to like provide those tools for them so they can just be better in their generation and pass on the torch. So that's a little bit about school days.
Yep, and one of the interesting things we're trying to do with with the money that's being raised is kind of bring Web3 the Web3 ethos to the nonprofit world. So we're calling it the School Days DAO, but how much of a DAO it exactly is, but we definitely want to let token holders have a say in terms of how the funds are spent, propose initiatives, and really be deeply involved in the School Days mission of specifically with these funds, helping educate folks on financial literacy, Web3, crypto. I think Jay-Z just announced something the other day with Jack Dorsey, which is similar to kind of what we're trying to do. It really help educate folks, how to responsibly enter crypto. And I think by calling it a DAO and letting people have a vote in what initiatives get funded, I think there's a really powerful mechanism there that Web3 is going to bring to the nonprofit world. Not just transparency of where the funds are going, but also having folks be able to have a say. Just makes them that much more, makes them value the charitable work that much more. And I think there's a lot of other interesting things with, rewarding folks for volunteerism, using, various token economics that, we also, down the line would love to explore. So, really looking for the community to kind of drive a lot of that vision in terms of how, we can bring more transparency and kind of more efficiency to nonprofit sector, using Web3 technology. So, that's kind of I would say one of the primary pillars of our roadmap, and then the other pillar is all around empowering creators. So we actually just started, a new podcast series called Creators Create, where Eric, Nikki, and Moose, who are, a couple of folks within his organization, they're kind of, giving tips. They're going to do a whole series giving tips on how to really monetize your creative output. And we just had the first episode launch on Discord last week. It's going to be a weekly series, with Q&A directly with Eric and folks on his team. We'll be bringing in a lot of guests, so that'll be some of the other kind of exclusive content that will be available to members of the ETVerse. And next phase of the roadmap. So we mentioned, the Creators Collective, that kind of collection of, 300 NFTs, which is kind of like, the core group. It's funny, we had this name, and then, I'm sure a lot of you are familiar with Proof Collective. It kind of came out, around the same time that we had come up with this idea, and we're like, oh, okay, it kind of validated kind of our approach of what we want to do. But, then we also have something we're calling the Blockheads. This is our generative PFP collection, which will be dropping soon after. And this will be kind of like, the base entry into the ETVerse. Great artists. We're really happy with, the way this art turned out. You can see some of the samples here and then on the walls. And, the other thing that we've really, been very, from day one with ETVerse, It's been about the art, but we also, believe NFTs are really going to be about utility. So all of the NFTs are going to come with tons of utility. So the one-of-ones are coming with, basically you get to spend a day with ET however you want, which is, I think, going to raise a lot of money for charity. And then, these blockhead collections will come with, special privileges to exclusive content. E really got famous on YouTube and Instagram, basically giving his stuff away for free. And, his community were essentially treated as kind of commodities by, the Facebooks and Googles of the world. Like, they just think of them as eyeballs. And I think with Web3, we're kind of transitioning. We'll see how this ends up, playing out over the next year or so. But, letting the community kind of have, ownership in terms of the growth of, the content and the creator. I think that's a really powerful mechanism, and that's something that we want to be, want to be on the cutting edge of, for sure. So as far as the rest of the roadmap for the project, after that we're moving into what we're calling the motivation metaverse. So it is the ETVerse. We will be looking to see how we can take E's conferences and like his whole network of folks in the inspirational world, creating kind of that a virtual world for folks to come together, people who are of like mind, and really the next evolution of the internet that is going to be the metaverse, creating that place for people to congregate and consume that content, interact with each other. It's very nascent. I think there's a lot of hype about what the metaverse and what the metaverse is, what the metaverse isn't, but being a member of the ETVerse is really going to kind of give you a vote and a say and like the ability to kind of define what that ends up being. And the end of the road. So end of the road of our roadmap is the Nobel Prize. So E mentioned that's kind of his mission in life right now. Is there how can we leverage the power of Web3 communities to do good for the world and ultimately somehow contribute to winning the Nobel Prize. So that's really the mission of this project. Education, empowerment, and ultimately leading to hopefully the Nobel Prize.
Absolutely. That's something that he's always kind of had as his championship, but it's just really something to just show him basically like giving back. That again, that's something that he's always been into, and he just loves to pour into situations where it's needed. And so this is just a representation of that, but I definitely think it would be cool for a community to also be a part of a piece and a prize of this matter. So I'm really super excited about this, to say the least.
Yep, and I mean, I think empowerment of creators is kind of where this started, and then it kind of just started snowballing, getting bigger and bigger, and we're hoping that we can execute this roadmap. Obviously, I think the whole Web3 is all about the community coming together to execute something. So it's not like only Jalin, only E, or Katana Capital making something happen. It's really going to be can we get the right people into the community, get them motivated. E calls himself a professional cheerleader, and that's kind of his role here is to cheerlead the community to do a bunch of great stuff. And we have a couple other artists who are in the pipeline as part of the Creators Collective who are going to be coming out with their own work, who we're going to be supporting, and we're hoping to see maybe there's a movie that's launched based on people who met in the Discord and got connected with the right folks through the network that we're building. Maybe a business has started via the entrepreneurship channel that we're going to have in the Discord. So that's really what we're trying to build, and we'll see where it goes. I think no one can really predict what's going to happen in this space in even 6 months or 12 months. I think if we all look back 12 months from 12 months ago, no one would have thought half the stuff that's here today would have happened. So I don't want to predict the future, but I think the one thing I am confident is that Web3 is going to empower communities to be a lot stronger than they were historically. So I'll open up to any questions if anyone in the crowd has any questions. But otherwise, I want to thank everyone for being here, and please take a look at the screens to enjoy the art that the creator, the Genesis collection that's being shown on the screens.
I just have one question. You guys talked a little bit about actually the side for the strength. Sorry. So you guys talked a little bit about the utility aspect of it. I was wondering if you could dig a little bit more into that, because I think it's an incredible part of the NFT community, and I think a lot of people lose sight of the fact that the utility is what really drives people towards it. So I was wondering if you guys would mind expanding on that a little bit more and kind of discussing it.
Yeah, so I think at the most superficial level, it's like, communicating to folks who maybe don't understand Web3 and kind of, the utility is going to be like events. So, E is known for a lot of his events. So with the, the Genesis collection, you essentially are also getting like a VIP pass to one of his events, which has like, a traditional notional value that's kind of embedded in that. And then like the Blockheads collection will have, the utility there will be, you'll have access to like certain private gated discords, which is pretty commonplace nowadays with a lot of, with a lot of projects. But I think with E specifically, because of he has so much content that's on YouTube and on Instagram that he's been giving away for free, but he also has a ton of content that's never been released that, just hasn't been seen, or maybe it's just been, you can get it at a conference. I think he started selling virtual tickets now to his shows. But owners of the of a Blockhead will get access to a bunch of his content that other folks won't have access to. So I mentioned he's just started this new content series called Creators Create, all about motivating creators to really take advantage of their gifts and how to monetize it. So eventually that could be something that might be token gated off and only available to owners of the NFT. I know in like a lot of the current NFT projects, the utility are like alpha groups, which are essentially like, I don't want to be pejorative here, but a lot of them are like, oh, here's a pump and dump group that this NFT community has, and you get early access. That's not really kind of what we're trying to do, but it's more about like, okay, here's an entrepreneurship group where you can get connected to investors, VCs, real estate experts. He has Jamal is one of his, so part of Eric Thomas Associates, and he's all about, he has a bunch of courses on, real estate, and, so having, the plans to have a real estate channel, which will only be available to, owners of the NFT, and then, who knows what will happen there, but, there could be deal flow, just connections, networking. So that's kind of the primary utility. So I think at the surface level, it's like, kind of serves as a ticket, because that's what, I think it's easiest for people to digest. And then like serving as like that kind of exclusive networking group, and then also like access to courses and all of that stuff. So Eric's community and like his his fans are like kind of the perfect situation, I think, for something like an NFT community. We may introduce a creator coin in the future. It's a little bit it's a little bit more complex, and like but so again, like other utility will like exclusive merchandise, right? So like a shirt like this, he has a big merchandise business, so there might be certain apparel might only be available if you own the NFT, and it'll be at limited discount. So again, that's stuff that like a lot of other brands are doing as well. But I think that's where we're going with the utility.
Hey, thanks. So earlier today, we were kind of hearing about how this ecosystem allows for more alignment between artists and the projects that they're on, right? And the ability for them to like think about how to engage themselves long-term with a project. And here, it seems like you're opening up a new opportunity for these artists who have like never even played with crypto before. I was wondering if you could talk about that a little bit more, about like, what is the drive here to like kind of bring these new artists to the forefront and get them recognized as artists for sure, but then, what is it about cryptocurrency that seems to be working out to like help bring all this together?
Yeah, I mean, I think, so much has changed since we first started this project, like 7 months ago. So I think 7 months ago, there was a big story around how, NFTs was empowering, and it's still a strong story, but I think now it's like a little bit more obvious to people that, NFTs are letting artists kind of bypass traditional gatekeepers. Like, you don't have to go, kiss the ass of like some Yale art history major to get into a gallery, and then have them take like whatever percentage they're taking off the top. so those gatekeepers are gone. Now you go directly to your fans, and I think that's so powerful. So I think when we first came up with this, like we wanted to like really, I guess, proselytize that message of like, and that's why we picked these. We picked a few kind of prominent artists who are well known for the one-of-ones, and then we picked very up and coming artists who, some of them had never had a piece of work sold. Like they'd been in Chicago, they've done a bunch of work. Maybe they had sold a few pieces here and there, at a street fair or something. But one of the guys was, one of the artists was like that. One of the other artists, she was actually one of the first people who like did stickers on Instagram. So she used to do like those stickers like in the early days. But she like hardly saw any money from that, right? And then she had never done an NFT, and we kind of explained it to her, and she's like, "Oh wow, that's like, could be life changing for for folks like that." So, yeah, I think like getting rid of the gatekeepers and like letting people go directly to their fans is like I think one of the biggest unlock for NFTs. And then the other thing is, I think the ongoing royalties being automated is another like really powerful aspect. So if someone like isn't famous now, but they can get rewarded for in the future, if they really blow up. And then I think the provenance aspect, like being able to prove that something is what it is. Again, like that the thing I love about crypto is just getting rid of the middlemen. Going back to Bitcoin, right, to get rid of the middlemen and banks. I think with NFTs, it gets rid of the middlemen in terms of galleries and kind of, those folks. We still have curation, which is fine, but it's, I think, that kind of, that fee that the middlemen's taking has been reduced significantly. And I think having more of that money go, both back to the creators and then back to the fans. And that's the kind of the interesting that's coming up now is there's like a reciprocity between like the artists and their fans, like where the fans are getting created or getting rewarded as well as the artist's work increases in value in like a way that wasn't really, wasn't as democratized before. Any other questions? All right, well, thank you all so much. Please visit our website, ETVerse.io, to get more information. We'd love to, have you guys, be a holder of one of the NFTs, whether it's the Genesis collection or the Blockheads when they launch.
Absolutely. Appreciate you guys. And again, I really can't wait to just have this community built up because of like Kuntal was saying with the whole utility and aspect, like this is a rich community where I've seen a lot of programs that we've had and a lot of people successfully come out. I'll give a little telltale before we left. His name is Alex Good Energy. He's like one of the #1 trucking in the industry right now, and he's underneath kind of an umbrella. But again, it's several different examples of that, but you have those kind of key components within the community, and this is not just something that we're doing for the time being. This is like a lifetime thing. We're trying to really encourage generational wealth and really like flush out some of the things that, again, we've been gatekeeped out of. And so not just for one community, but for everybody. And so we're really trying to just push that. So I think, and I'm very confident that everybody will find a program or something that they will love to follow and to legit build within the community, because our Discord literally is all about that, as you will see when you join. But I really appreciate your time, and hopefully like I wanted to get the video so you guys can see my dad and his energy, but we're all good with that. But hopefully everybody has a good rest of the day.
Yeah, I just want to say one last thing. Like I had a great quote that I forgot to say, but I think maybe it's not that great. But I think like NFTs like are allowing like kind of it's like capital formation for culture versus like financial capital formation, which has been traditional. And I think like a lot of like especially African American communities, they had a lot of cultural capital, but there's no way to like monetize it. And now I think with NFTs, you're able to monetize that cultural capital in ways that weren't possible. So I feel like I think that's going to be really powerful as well in the long run, and that's kind of part of what we're hoping to accelerate with the Creators Collective.